Hey, welcome back to my channel, On the Road with Susan. So like they say, the third time's the charm. I'm currently at the Wellsburg Wharf where one of the newest 53 Almost Heaven swings has been placed. Now I've been here 3 times. The first time I was here there was 12 inches of snow on the ground and that beautiful Ohio River there was frozen. So just so you know, see across here, over there, that's Ohio. I'm in West Virginia. The river divides them. But the second time I came, the first time I came, my audio didn't work. And I filmed a whole bunch of stuff, and you couldn't hear a word I said. So the second time I came, it was extremely windy, and I guess I didn't hit the record button. Either that or I deleted it, one of the two. And so this is the third time. So hopefully the audio's working and I'm going to be able to make a video out of this. And you wonder why it's taken me so long to get a new video up. It's just, I'm not a whiz at this, and so I do the best I can. But I'm at the Wellsburg Wharf, like I said, and in 2025, I wanted to see every one of the swings, but that was when there was 33. They've added at least 17 more, and they're still adding more swings as we even film this. So I'm going to try to get as many swings as I can this year, but I do want to show you something. This is a design of my own. It is a West Virginia swing challenge. You have this emblem on the front, and then on the back there is a list. There is a list of all 53 current swings that you can go and visit. Now this is on my website as well as my shop. And if you watch the video all the way through, I'll be adding a special code on the screen that you can get an additional savings off your shirt. This has been done in comfort colors. If you're not familiar with that, they are more of a vintage, washed type of shirt. And this color is cocoa or chocolate or dark brown, something. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about this area and why this swing has been put in here. Not only that, I have been to Wellsburg several times. I come here almost about once a week now to do some work. And at the first glance, you're going to see a depressed town. There's no doubt about that. But you need to come back a few roads, and you need to peel the onion a little bit to see some of the beauty that this town has to offer and the history that goes with this town. Now, I'm going to show you some of the things, and I keep exploring and keep finding more treasures. I just found another treasure, and I'm going to have to make a totally different video for that because they told me if I come back next week, there's a whole lot more that I can add to that video. So to do it justice, I want to make a separate video for that. But you just got to see the beauty behind the boarded up buildings. Yeah, there are those, but there's a whole lot more to this town than just boarded up buildings and depression. So I hope you stick around for the full video. And if you like content like this, where I'm exploring town, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and help me grow this channel, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it means a tremendous amount to me. So let's get into it. In October of 25, Wellsburg got their swing, making it the 52nd swing in the statewide program and the 6th in this northern panhandle region alone. There are other swings down in Wheeling, Moundsville, and even in Ogle Bay Park. But this one here has a view that I think stands apart. The swing is positioned right here above the wharf, near this beautiful gazebo overlooking the Ohio River. And as you can see, when you're on the swing, you've got the river spreading out in front of you. And on a clear day, looking down south, you can see the arch of the Wellsburg River about 2 miles downstream. But this swing is really just the beginning of the story here, because right behind us, around us, and stretching through this entire town, there is about 2.5 centuries of American history just waiting to be explored. Back in the late 17 and early 1800s, this river just wasn't something, nice to look at. It was a major transportation route. The Ohio River starts out in the Golden Triangle in Pittsburgh, where the Allegheny and the Monongahela come together and form the mighty Ohio, and it stretches over 1,000 miles, dumping into the Mississippi River. Now, before railroads and highways, this river was like the highway for early America. Flatboats, steamboats carried settlers, supplies, and trade goods downriver and helped expand the frontier. Towns like Wellsburg grew because of it, and the wharf became the center of activity where the boats docked, goods were traded, and people gathered. Now, if you just look over here, right in the same park, there is a memorial for Patrick Glass. Now, you might not know who Patrick Glass is. I didn't either until I did some research. But he was a sergeant in the Lewis and Clark expedition, and they explored the western United States back in the early 1800s. He later became the last surviving member of the expedition and published one of the earliest accounts of that journey. After all of that, traveling all over the western United States, he made his home right here in Wellsburg. It's incredible to think that someone who helped document one of the most important expeditions in American history ended up living in this little small river town. Right beside the memorial for Patrick Glass is a huge sycamore tree. Now, you might not think that this sycamore tree is all that, but it dates back to the early 1800s. It was planted by Dr. Albert Wheeler, a physician who practiced medicine here in Wellsburg, until his death in 1864. This tree became more than just part of the landscape. Many property deeds in Wellsburg were actually measured from this tree, making it a central reference point for the town. And in 1863, during the Civil War, local men gathered underneath this tree when the Confederate General John Hunt Morgan led his cavalry north into Ohio. Can you imagine the tension at that moment? People watching the river, waiting, preparing, and today that same tree stands quietly watching over everything. Just a block back from the swing, you're going to find the Wells Log House. It was built by Alexander Wells himself back in 1788. This is before West Virginia even became a state, before the United States had a sitting president under the current Constitution. Originally, it stood at 65 Washington Street in a little village called Buffalino, Virginia, which is now 3rd Street in Wellsburg.
It was moved and rededicated to the current location back in 2004, where it now sits on the corner of Charles and 6th Street across from the Brooke County Judicial Center. One of the things about Wellsburg I really took back was these churches. There are several churches with these steeples, and I hit it just at the right time. Listen to these church bells. Now, the log cabin is certainly remarkable, but it's not the only piece of history standing in Wellsburg. The entire downtown district is spotted with structures that date to the 1800s. And just walking these streets, it's like flipping through a living history book. Wellsburg was incorporated as a city in 1887. But many of these buildings predate that by decades. This Brooke County courthouse was originally built in 1849 on the same site where the previous courthouse stood since 1799. 200 plus years of civil life in the same corner. There's banks, foundries, glass factories, storefronts. This town had it all in the 1800s, and West Virginia's very first glass manufacturing plant was actually built right here in Wellsburg in the 1813. The glass industry was huge throughout the 19th century, with multiple glass works operating at the same time, fueled eventually by the natural gas wells that were discovered nearby. Okay, can we take a second to appreciate this? Look at this road. These are brick pavers. Now, this isn't a decorative touch that was added last year to make the downtown look charming. These are original brick, the kind of street surface that was standard in American towns from roughly 1870s through the early 1900s. You know, before asphalt took over everything.
Okay, so the more time I spend in this little Wellsburg town, the more I like it. I just discovered on this main street, which is where the swing and the wharf is located, I found some homes down here, and I love looking at the architecture. You gotta look up, you know. So I filmed it, and I'm going to show it to you, but I was talking to somebody. Right now I'm sitting on the steps of, I think, the courthouse. This is all courthouse area here, and I want to show you the courthouse from 18 something. I can't remember what the sign said, but I'll show it to you. But these homes were built in the 1800s, and they're still standing, and people are still living in them. And I just think this is just so cool that this little town has so much history. In my opinion, you can go to these small towns that are kind of struggling, and you can find the negativity anywhere. You can see the boarded up buildings. You can see, you know, the unkeptness of it. But you gotta look a little deeper to find the beauty and the history in these small towns that line the Ohio River like this one does. Even in Pennsylvania, where I'm from, you gotta look deep. You gotta look deep into these little towns to see the beauty and what once was there, and not focus so much on the negativity. So I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to end by showing you some of these buildings here from the 1800s and beyond. If you come to Wellsburg, you want to stop and park. If you're back here on this main street and you're just up a little bit, you can park for as long as you want. as long as you can find a space. It's a little quiet back here, and the river is right across from you here. And you could walk around this town and see some of the beauty. Again, look a little deeper, look a little past the boarded up buildings and maybe the slowness of the town, and enjoy the history that once was here. So until next time.